you want to break the barriers that seem to hinder you from being a high flyer? Do you want to rest on the shoulders of those who have broken boundaries against all odds? Do you want to rise above your current level? Then this is the place to be. Welcome to the Rising Heroes Podcast. This podcast is committed to showing how to ride from where you are to where you should be. Grab your pen and paper as we make welcome our host, Toluche Francis.
Hello there and welcome to another episode of the Rising Heroes Podcast. My name is Toluche Francis once again, and this particular episode we're looking at building emotional muscles. Now let me tell you a story that I got fascinated with and that I think you would learn from as well. So this particular student, whose name happened to be Martha, right, and she was a final year student in the university, and she was in good standing. In fact, she was on her way to earning a first class degree when the unexpected happened. Now, Martha, I need to let you know that Martha came from a poor background, and so she had to start a business while she was in school to take herself through school. And so she was selling anything legally possible that could be sold was what Martha was selling, and so she was able to take herself through school that way. People were even surprised at how is Martha able to run a business and at the same time still be able to do, be up there academically, right? But she had a secret which a lot of people didn't know, and that the secret is the fact that Martha usually would study into the night so she could catch up with academics. And to interest you that she was even on her way to earning a first class. Now, on a fateful day, Martha was summoned and informed that her college results were not complete, hence she wouldn't be graduating. Now, it would be interesting to let you know here that Martha got into school with an incomplete result because her English language was withheld. But she decided, or the school agreed, that look, since it's been withheld, it's not that you did not sit for this paper, let's admit you and hope that you would have this result before your final year, and then you can update your result, because the school was not going to accept anyone coming with 2 sittings result. But Martha forgot. The school forgot, and everybody just went their own way. And so Martha continued. But then it had happened, and then they said, look, she would have to withdraw from the school. After much discussion, and plea, it was too late, and the school was not going to hear anything otherwise, and which meant 3 years wasted already, because she was already in her 4th year, which in her 4-year program. What would Martha do? Who would help her? She would have to sit for all the papers again, write the examinations all over again, which could take years because, like I said earlier, she came from a poor home. But Martha accepted her fate and started preparing again. This journey took her 2 years, all thanks to her entrepreneurial quest. What simply means is she had to raise money from her business to actually go back to sit for this examination. Remember, she's from a poor home. She had to go back home and tell her family members that, you know what? I've been asked to leave school, not because of anything I did wrong, but because my result was withheld. And so that journey started all over again. But let me let you know that Martha went back to that school after writing all the exams, and she graduated with a first class again. Now, upon graduation, she set up her own business and began to employ young men and women with entrepreneurial skills, to learn entrepreneurial skills rather. She was very passionate, right? And she felt the need to encourage young people to learn business, to learn entrepreneurship. But you see, Martha had something that stood her out, right? And that thing that stood her out is what many of us need right now, where we are, wherever you're listening to me from. She had something that made her unique. She had something that she has built over time. She had something that she had developed over time. The reality is that life will always come to us with situations that we never prepared for. We would always find ourselves faced with a similar situation like that of Martha, where life may seem unfair, our hard work and sincerity may not be regarded. What do you do at that point? Do you hang your heads and withdraw into your shell? Do you refuse to come out and interact with the society for fear that others might be laughing at you or behind your back or even to your face? or would you go digging to seek to learn from the situation and make necessary adjustments? What makes the difference between individuals who respond differently to a setback is that one person might be giving up and becoming overwhelmed, while the other person appears unmoved and perseveres until success is made, all right, and nothing else. And that's because the person has built something over time. So the person who doesn't give up, the person who, in spite of all that is happening to him or her, keeps going, keeps digging, right, doesn't get deterred, doesn't give up, is that the person has over time built something. And that thing is called emotional muscles. And just as physical muscles don't grow up all of a sudden, you don't build all the six packs all of a sudden, you don't build all the tight butts and the hips all of a sudden. It's a deliberate attempt. So are emotional muscles. They don't just grow overnight, they are built. So what do you need to build emotional muscles? I'm going to try to share some points with you of the things that you need for you to build emotional muscles. Number one is that you need to remember that strong body responses are natural with strong feelings. What do I mean by this? You may feel like hitting or crying, or maybe butterflies are beating against your stomach. This doesn't mean that there is something wrong with you. You need a healthy way of containing and releasing the current of feelings that you have within you. Yours could be crying. Yours could be writing down furiously what you feel. Yours could be punching a bag or something. But the point is, you need to respond to those feelings in a way that they are healthy. You build those body responses, all right? You build those body responses to your feelings in a natural way. There are no two ways about it. You cannot formulate a formula, right, for you to respond to those feelings. You just need to do something that is natural to you. Number two is you have to name the feeling and recall times that you felt it before. You think that you have a problem. You think that the problem you have right now is about your new love or your new job or something. But I can guarantee that it's probably not that. It's probably that you have a feeling that is similar to what you have had before, and you just haven't paid attention to it or to even understand why you are having that feeling. And so you might need to talk to someone that you trust and who is not involved in that thing, so that the person has a broader perspective and the person comes on a neutral ground to help you assess that situation and your feelings. You also could write down how you feel and the time you felt that way, as you try to recall the times that you have felt that way before. You could sing to get closer to what is inside. Sometimes singing allows us to recount our feelings and help us pay attention to how we are feeling at that point in time. Number three is you need to answer negative thoughts without judgment. Respond to "I'm being a baby" with the truth. No, I'm feeling hurt and insecure. Right, so you have that feeling that you are being a baby, right? You need to come to the point that you are not judging yourself that you're a baby, right? Because it's very easy to judge, right? But harder is experiencing your forceful emotions without just reacting, right? So you need to come to that point where you look at your negative feelings and you assess them, not necessarily judging them, right? But you assess them to understand that, look, I'm hurt and I feel insecure, rather than say that you are a baby, rather than say that you are not being loved, or you are not being regarded because of something that you're not doing or they are doing wrong, or you begin to blame yourself or something. So answer your negative thoughts. Deal with your negative thoughts. Don't try to judge them. Don't cover them up. Number four, pull back from your lover in this moment. This might sound ridiculous to some of you, but the truth of the matter is, when you feel bad, when you feel terrible, right, your partner might bear the brunt of it all. So yes, you might have to share with your partner how you feel, and it might end up making you feel too needy. You might feel that your partner is not responding in a way that you expected him or her to respond, and because of that, your relationship might go south, and you don't want that to happen. You don't want to destroy something that you've been building, right, for quite a while. So you might ask for some time off while you get the proper care and attention until you're back to your feet. Your partner would understand with you. He will still be there for you. He will still care for you, right? Maybe calls or something, but he understands that you need that moment to heal. But if you know that you can handle all this together without piling it up on your partner, then go ahead. But if you see and you know that it's not helpful to you and things are not going the way you expect them to go, then you might need to take a break. Not from the relationship. I'm talking about physical contact now, or whichever way works for both of you. You might need to discover it's just an advice that, look, you might need to pull back so that you don't put your emotions, right? You don't put your emotions on him or her and then begin to misbehave. Number 5, expand, don't contract. Remember that you are trying to learn new responses. You are not trying to limit how you feel or what you feel. You are only trying to learn new responses. And so maybe you don't like sadness, but think of sadness like a rain. It comes, you don't like the rain, right? But you're pretty, because it limits you from going out and you can't do anything about it, right? So you need to understand that your feelings come like the rain as well. You may not be able to stop them from coming, right? But you need to learn how to let them come in, okay? And then you handle it. So when they come in, you are able to do what we said earlier, which is responding to them and trying to understand why you are feeling the way you are feeling. Now, this is very interesting, and that's feelings like ocean waves peak and subside. That's number 6. Overthinking at the peak of conflict isn't wise. Let's look at the stormy ocean, for example. You need physical strength to remain oriented and to get to shore. And same with a feeling storm. You need to understand that your feelings will come like a rushing wind, right? And so you don't make decisions at that point in time. You don't make decisions at that point in time because you might end up making wrong decisions, right? So you wait until your feelings subside while you deal with them. Don't make decisions when there is a storm in your feelings. Afterward, you'll probably feel exhilarated and confident. You may decide that this is not a good thing for you to do, but that's not because you couldn't handle the storm. That's because you're able to make deliberate and logical decisions irrespective of how you feel. So let me conclude by saying that you cannot control how people treat you or what they say about you, but you can control how you respond. No one owes you a duty to make you happy. It is your responsibility to make yourself happy. So go out there today and decide that you're going to be happy, even as you build those emotional muscles of yours, understanding fully well that the entire decision of being happy lies with you. Thank you very much for joining me on this episode again. It's been a pleasure doing this with you week in, week out. This is episode 24, and I'm excited how far we are going. Please do not hesitate to share this with friends, families, and relatives, and any other person who you think needs it. You can also shoot me a mail if you think that you need some coaching and some form of mental therapy. Visit the website, tolushefrancis.com. Follow us on social media, Tolushe Francis, Rising Heroes Podcast, and Real Consulting. Check the YouTube channel, Tolushe Francis, and you'll find resources that you need. There are also courses on the website that you can take. Till I come your way again, I remain my humble self, Tolushe Francis. Have a great week ahead. See ya.
Thank you for joining us on this episode. Hope you learned something new. Do join us next time. For inquiries, speaking requests, and much more, please send an email to tolushe@tolushefrancis.com. See you next time on the Rising Heroes Podcast.